Now this channel is quite a good channel. People send footage of what they've caught in the sky, and he tells you about the weather, volcanoes and just things like that. Someone has sent in footage of SpaceX, and have a listen to what he says, what he's seeing.
You guys that haven't seen these videos, an awesome view from California looking in the western sky of a SpaceX rocket launch that does some very bizarre maneuvers in the nighttime sky. This video footage here I took myself from back in 2017 of a SpaceX rocket coming from the western sky. I'm looking kind of towards the southwest right now, and it looked like this rocket was coming inland. And if you watch real close, you're going to see a white orb take off from the rocket itself, almost like it detached and went out in front of the rocket. You're going to see it here real quickly. It almost looks like some sort of a large, bright white orb. Here it comes. See it? Down below the tree line almost. It looked very close. Takes off out in front of the rocket. This was back in 2017, December of 2017, around 6:30 at night. And this thing was flying over southeast Phoenix, coming from California, the western coast of California. Big, huge overspray. Again, 2017, December, around 6:30 p.m. in the nighttime sky. Again, a rocket launch that appeared to be moving inland. And this thing seemed like it was going more horizontal across the sky than vertical. We're going over to California right now. Video footage taken by Colleen, who happened to be on a overpass of a highway when she saw this rocket soaring up into the sky. So she stopped and started filming this rocket that does something quite bizarre. This was from January of 2021. Again, this is for you guys that haven't seen this, because this is quite an exceptional video of a SpaceX rocket launch. Once again, coming out of the western sky from Vandenberg. Here goes up into the sky. And this one here looks like it's going more vertical compared to the one that I just showed you from out here that looked like it was kind of going horizontal across the nighttime sky. Not exactly sure the time here. I know this was January of 2021. Could have been around the same time, for all I know, around 6:30 at night, because it gets dark early in the northern hemisphere in the winter months. Right in here, the exhaust starts changing color, turns into a bright red, and then you're going to see that white object like we saw in the first video kind of separate right there from the rocket itself and go a different direction. That almost looks like a supernova going on right there. Looks like the Crab Nebula or something like that. Big, huge vapors changing color from red to orange to blue. Watch this white object here that's separating from the rocket. The rocket's up here. This thing here is that white orb like we saw in the first video that took off out in front of the rocket itself. This one's going in an opposite direction, and it does something here in just a moment that is really weird. Almost looks like something you would see in a sci-fi movie. Check this out. It starts spinning, and it leaves these systematic lines in the sky. Almost looks like a radio tower sending out signals, like right there. Look at that. How weird is that? And this video was taken on the fly. She did not have a tripod. She managed to keep the camera very still and had a absolutely spectacular view of this impressive rocket launch that again left a large cloud in the sky that looked like a nova, some sort of a supernova. But the rocket's continuing on here, going in more of a slanted vertical motion. The one that I showed you at the beginning of the video was going almost horizontal across the nighttime sky. Just an incredible display of vapors up in the sky, various colors. I mean, if you didn't know what that was, I mean, you would be very taken back by whatever's going on up here. But this was definitely a SpaceX rocket launch with some sort of a sideshow over here on the right. I'm not quite sure what this little feature is, but we saw it in the first video, and here it is again in the second video, doing some sort of weird maneuvers in the nighttime sky. Almost looked like a radio tower sending out signals of some sort. But an impressive view by Colleen out of California of a SpaceX rocket launch. This one was from January of 2021. This one here was from December of 2017. And if you guys have any photos or videos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports at MrMBB333.com. Thanks for watching. Have a super day and be safe out there.
His channel is actually a good channel to subscribe to, so I'll leave the description in the description box underneath. But did you hear his explanation for what he was seeing? it looks like signals from a signal tower. That's because the air signals aimed at the Earth's magnetic field were, I believe, and there's plenty of evidence to say that that is where the collective consciousness is. And the Mandela effect, these magnetic frequencies is hitting the data in the Earth's magnetic field where our reality is and the collective consciousness is, and it's changing that data. It's either changing it or it's deleting it. My money's on that they're deleting it. And the reason I say this is because, and it's not just me saying this, but there's a few other Mandela effect channels are noticing that the Earth is getting smaller, it's shrinking. Now if you think about it, if the data to our reality is in the Earth's magnetic field and they are deleting it, they're deleting the data to the Earth. So it's going to be losing data and it's going to be shrinking, and that's what we're seeing. From South America to Africa, I remember when hurricanes used to build up in that, you'd see 4 or 5 of them in a line, from small to big, building up. Some of them didn't grow that big, but some of them grew massive, you know what I mean? But you'd always see 4 or 5, weather patterns, turning into hurricanes. You'd be lucky if you get 2, because South America and Africa are so close to each other. China's lost loads of land, they're a lot smaller. They used to be one of the biggest countries in the world. Now I'm not sure if North America's bigger than China. So yeah, it's not just me noticing it, but the Earth is getting smaller now. These magnetic frequencies, what you see in there in a minute, I believe they are deleting the data in our reality. Now what happens if our reality is deleted? Because we all have our own magnetic field, so we all will still exist. But if our reality is deleted, are we going to just pop into their reality? Where if we go into their reality, we won't be at the top of the food chain. They will be. It's been well known that reptilians eat human flesh. So if they manage to do what I believe they are doing, one day we could wake up with a lot of nasties in our reality. The red borders what I'm putting on this video is to look at them, what SpaceX doing there, other than sending magnetic frequencies. It's obvious. But these red borders, they're just there as a warning, because it's getting to the point where something needs to be done, and it needs the educated people to realise that the Earth's magnetic... See, I've come out with a theory which it needs proving, but I'm finding it hard to get someone to help me to prove and do the experiment to show that we are living in a simulation. Once that's proven, that means there's an hard drive. And there's enough evidence to show that the hard drive is in the Earth's magnetic field. Now, these magnetic frequencies, what you're seeing, is going to be dangerous beyond belief, firing them at the hard drive where our data is. And it shouldn't be allowed. But not only that, since CERN's been turned back on, I've noticed a lot of, this guy who I've just shown his video, I'm going to show you another video of what he says about CERN, so I'll show you that now.
Hey, What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, we're going to talk about the Large Hadron Collider. We're going to come back and take a quick look at this article here in a minute regarding the new startup date of the Large Hadron Collider and an observation I've made since it's began operating. Back to the homepage of the website, quick look at the Schumann resonance. You can see in the last 12 hours, there was a spike of energy at around 1500. And also you can see over here another type of disturbance picked up in the Schumann at around 1500 again, lasting for about 7, maybe 8 hours. And you can see the same thing occurring right now, basically, as I do this video, or at least in the last few hours. This has been going on now for several days in a row. The same exact pattern showing up in the Schumann resonance. I'm wondering if it has something to do with the Large Hadron Collider that started up at full capacity, what they're calling unprecedented energy levels that they're operating at over here since July the 5th. And experiments have been ongoing ever since July 5th. And I've noticed since around that time frame, the Schumann resonance has had this steady, I mentioned it before, it had a repetitive cycle that was showing up at around the 1500, and it's been doing this now every day for the last several days on a 24-hour cycle, lasting about 8 hours. I'm wondering if it's associated with what's going on over here. I can only speculate. I don't know, and that's all this is pure speculation, and it could be entirely coincidental. But there has been something detected in the Schumann resonance now for several days in a row, and it's the same exact signature, just like you see yesterday, and you're seeing it once again today, with the exception of a few smaller spikes of energy that have showed up in the last 10 or 12 hours. But this pattern right here has been in the Schumann resonance now for over a week.
The human resonance is readings from the Earth's magnetic field. So that's evidence that CERN is affecting the Earth's magnetic field, where your reality and collective consciousness is. And that can't be good. These powerful magnetic frequencies hitting the Earth's magnetic field, where they say at the very basis of our reality, it's like ones and zeros, just like a computer stores data. But when a computer stores data, that also uses a magnetic frequency to flip the ones and zeros, to flip the negative and positive that count for the ones and zeros. And these magnetic frequencies, that's why this is what's causing the Mandela effect. But there's no real gain, there's no one gaining from the Mandela effect. So what else are they up to? The only possibility, the only thing I can think of is they are deleting our reality, they are deleting your reality. This needs spreading, it needs looking into. It's either that or I'm bleeding crazy. But the evidence is here. Next bit of footage I'm going to show is my 2-minute video virtually proving that we do live in a simulation. I know the experiments need doing, but if you think about it, what I say is true. Otherwise I wouldn't have been able to show it. So here's the 2-minute video showing that we all live in a simulation, which means there's an hard drive, which evidence is showing it's a magnetic field is the hard drive. You need to spread the word. If you see what I see happening